G'day folks, and welcome to a whole new season of Robbies River Roundup. A while back I made a River Roundup video and I called for people to give me some feedback or some constructive criticism. I asked my audience, you guys, what do you want to see? What do you want to see more of and what do you want to see less of, etc, etc. I've taken everybody's advice on board and I'm proud to say that I am coming back with a new season of River Roundup starting now and going through until probably around about the end of April or May. But there are some changes. The first change you would have noticed is that I'm no longer brought to you by Adventure Camping and Fishing. Now, that's going to clear that one up straight away. There has been no hostilities, no arguments. Adventure Camping and Fishing are a wonderful shop and they're a wonderful company, and the guy that owns it, Craig Norton, is a wonderful man. And I thank him very, very much for his support last season, and I still shop in the store and I will continue to do so. I don't want anybody speculating and coming up with any rumours, but the thing is, I've got other friends that own a knife shop in Wang or another tackle shop and whatnot, and I just like the idea of being able to give them a free plug or a bit of help from time to time, and I don't like to bite the hands that feeds me. So I've said to Craig, look, I said I'm not going to continue it anymore. However, I will still continue to use your name and drop your name wherever possible because it's a great store and they're great guys, but I just don't want to be bound and I don't want to have any bias on anything I do, so I prefer to just fly solo, so to speak. But so you all know, keep going into Adventure Camping and Fishing because they're great fellas in there. But this season, I've decided to run with the River Roundups all by myself, proudly brought to you by you guys, the audience that watch it, because you watch it, I get quite a few video hits and it inspires me to make more videos. So these are the ones that bring me the River Roundup. That's the first change. The second change is I'm probably going to make it monthly and not weekly. It's just too much of a burden, to be quite honest. I'm a disability support worker. I'm very, very fortunate enough to work in a house with 5 of the most beautiful people that God put on the planet. I love my job and I want to focus on my job as best I can. Last year doing the River Roundup weekly caused interruptions to other parts of my life. I had to drop everything and run out the river, and sometimes I even ended up making it in the shed. You know, so this year I'm making it monthly. It just takes a bit of pressure off me, but it still allows me to get out and tell everybody what the conditions are like. So that's one of the other changes. I'm also going to be trying to put a bit more informative stuff in my River Roundups this year. After I give a river conditions report shortly, I'm going to talk about fishing rods and different sorts of trout rods. When I make it monthly, I want to just have something different, something educational, maybe a bit of a fishing clip, a bit of talk about lures, talk about tackle, just something I want to add on to the end of each report, just to give a bit more incentive to people to view it and to give back what you people have said that you'd like to see. So, these are the changes. It's monthly. I'm brought to you by my audience, which I appreciate and love very much. It's helped me out a lot. And there's going to be a bit more informational stuff at the end of each segment. Okay, so let's start. First one. Right now, it's the last day of August. Next Saturday, which at the time of filming now is about 5 days away, 6 days away. Next Saturday is the 2015-2016 Victorian Trout opening. And for the first time since the trout season was reintroduced back in the early 1990s, I'm working all weekend. Now that just tells you just how much I do love my job. I have to work, but I'll be getting out the week after. The rivers at the moment are looking fantastic. They're looking good. Sadly, they're looking a bit too good because this time of year they should be higher than what they are. They're all got a really good flow. The bigger rivers like the Ovens River and the Kiwa River, the Buffalo, the Buckland, they're all pretty much unwadeable at the moment. You might be able to cross them in places. The Kiwa Rivers I wouldn't because it's just flowing way too hard. The Ovens River you probably wouldn't either, to be quite honest, but the Buffalo and the Buckland you may be able to cross. But they're quite clear for this time of year. They're flowing very, very well and they're looking really, really healthy. This week they are forecasting quite a lot of rain on Wednesday. They're not forecasting flooding rains, but they are forecasting quite significant rainfall in the northeast Victorian catchments. As a result, these streams could become off colour in time for opening and they could get high. I doubt very, very much it will get enough rain to render them unfishable. I think they'll be fine, but I wouldn't be heading out without taking a bunch of garden worms or scrub worms. Any worms will do. The water is icy cold as you would expect, but the days are getting longer. The water is clearing right up. And by next weekend, I just think that if you're heading out trout fishing, you should be in with a chance no matter where you go. But just make sure you take plenty of worms, some shiny metallic lures and some waders because the water's cold. Or if you're like me, you probably wear gumboots. Let's do a little bit of fishing rod talk. Right here I have 2 fishing rods in my hand. I have an Akuma micro spin and a wild bait stick. The Akuma is 5 foot tall. The wild bait stick is 6 foot tall. Why would I choose the wild bait over the Akuma or the Akuma over the wild bait? What makes one better than the other? Let me explain. They're both great rods. The shorter wild bait stick is 5 foot tall. It's very, very whippy. Just excuse me, I'll put that down. It's very, very whippy. It's nice and short. It's ideal for small little creeks where I can flick up under branches and stuff like that. I can flick down low. I can still overarm cast them, whatever. It's nice and whippy, so when a small fish hits it, the rod tip bends and it sets the hook quite well. And it's ideal for small streams. The wild bait stick is 6 foot long. It's quite a stiffer rod. I think it's a bit more graphite component. But the beauty of that is being longer and a bit firmer enables me to cast further. Better in bigger rivers like the Kiwa River or the King River or the Ovens River or something like that. You can still use the wild bait stick in small streams, and you can still use the Akuma in big rivers. They'll both be used anywhere. They're both quite a versatile rod. But if you're fortunate enough to be able to own 2 rods, go for something longer, even a 6'6" rod for the bigger streams. They allow you to cast out further, and not only do they do that, but the longer rods enable you to lift the rod tip up higher, which is better if you're working soft plastics and you want to impart a bit of action into your lure. By lifting your rod tip up higher, it just enables you to work it a bit higher in the water column. Rather than just jerking it along flat, it enables you to lift it up and keep it working really well like that. So long rods, great for soft plastics, great for bigger rivers. The stiffer the rod, the further it will cast. Light little whippy rods, great for little streams, little creeks, great for casting bladed spinners, still great for soft plastics, but better in smaller streams, as said. And the best thing about small rods is even the little fish feel like monsters. These little whippy rods, you can catch redfin 4 inches long on these, and the rod still bends right over, and you just have a lot of fun. This is a micro spin. From memory, this rod and reel combo cost me about $250 at Adventure Camping and Fishing last year. It's a quantum reel. I'm trying to work out exactly what sort it is. It's a quantum spinning reel with a micro. It's an Akuma micro spin rod with a quantum spinning reel. Cost me about $250. Not a high-end piece of fishing tackle, but very good value for money. It served me well all last season, and I'm going to use it again this season in the smaller streams. The wild baits, designed by Peter Pomorski, who lives down near Melbourne. These are about $100 online, I think. Don't quote me on that. Peter actually gave me this rod. He's a nice guy. I took him cod fishing a couple of years ago. He wanted to try out some of his bigger lures that he makes, his wild bait lures. I took him out. He caught a couple of cod, and to say thanks, he gave me a fishing rod. Then I went out and I snapped it, getting it out of my car, so he sent me another one. Thank you very much, Pete. You're a great fella. But then go to www.wildbait.com.au, I believe it is, or if you can't find it, just Google search wild bait and you'll find the wild bait sticks. They're a great rod. I've got it paired up with a Shimano CI4 Stratic. It's a 2500, it's nice and light, and I use 4-pound monofilament line, and that rod and reel combo, with even a tiny little jig head like that, will cast quite a long way and more than enough for any of the rivers that I fish. So there's a bit of rod talk. Rule of thumb, short and whippy for the small streams, long and stiff for the bigger rivers, and you've got plenty of room to move and you can't go wrong. Just so that you know, I'm not fishing today. The season is still closed. My car's over there with my wife and kids. I'm about to go and cook them a barbecue lunch. I just wanted to film this on the bank of a nice river like this where it's nice and pristine. Okay folks, have a good trout opening next weekend. I'll be thinking of you all while I'm working. Well, I can't really call what I do work. It's pretty easy. It's just doing what I would do at home but in a different house with some beautiful people. But I'll be thinking about you while I'm there, and I'll be getting out pretty soon, and I'll see you around about the end of September sometime. Good luck.